record. And hopefully I am recording this. Okay, that's great. So feel free again to type and use the chat box. Feel free to ask questions. I will periodically, like I said, check to make sure if there's any questions, and I will certainly do a Q&A at the end when I'm finished. All right, so we're officially going to get started. So welcome everyone to the 3 secrets all midlife women need to know if they want to improve their sleep and wake up feeling refreshed and energized sleep class, I like to call it. I'm really, really happy that you're here and you've joined me, and I really do not take it lightly that you've committed to spending the next 60 minutes with me. I know everyone's busy now, and I applaud your, taking the time for yourself as well too. As I mentioned before, this is interactive. We're going to have a conversation together, so make sure that you keep that chat or that comment box open as well too. And okay, so let's dive into the 3 secrets all midlife women need to know if they want to improve their sleep and wake up feeling refreshed and energized. All right, so you are here tonight because you want the secrets to improving your sleep. So it's super important that you block out all distractions. Really give this time back to yourself. Put your phone in another room, close all the tabs, put a do not disturb sign on the door, whatever you need to do. I find it's rare that we actually, nowadays, to just kind of give something our undivided attention, but you're here for a reason, and I really do want to make sure you get the most out of this and you have some focus on this training as well too. All right. Okay, and on that note too, I do have a special gift for you. I know everyone kind of likes getting presents. This is a different one though. So everything I am going to share with you is equally important, and it is critical to getting a good night's sleep that you stay to the end of the class so you can kind of get the big full picture and the tips that I'm going to share. However, once the class is complete, I do know who is here tonight, and I will send you, if you'd like, a copy of the It's 2 a.m. I'm wide awake. What do I do now? Guide that I've created for you all as well too. So if that's something that you would like, I will send it to you, and it's just another resource. So you will kind of know specifically what to do if this happens, what to do, what not to do, which is always important. All right, so that will be another thing you will receive as well too. So here is my promise to you today. I'm going to show you how you can shift from feeling like you will never sleep again to knowing really the key components to staying asleep, so that you can actually wake up energized and excited to start a new day, allowing you to live your midlife years in a healthy and productive way. Does that sound good? And specifically, you're really going to discover why what you've maybe been doing for the last few years to fall asleep and stay asleep hasn't worked. And instead, I'm really going to walk you through what does work. Imagine being able to skip all the Googling, the trial and error, and really do just what works. I know when I learned the method that I'm going to share, it changed my life. It certainly changed my clients' lives, and I know it can change yours too. So type yes in the chat if that sounds good to you. I see lots of yeses. Lots of yeses. Great. Okay. Thank you. Good. Okay. So, are you someone who's tired of falling asleep with the TV on, kind of thinking this will help you get to sleep easier? Are you fed up Googling, why can't I sleep, and trying to figure this out on your own? I'm not sure if you're currently taking sleep medication, whether that be prescription sleep medication or over the counter, and or high doses of melatonin, thinking that this is the only way you can get to sleep. Or are you unsure how to get a good night's sleep so you can actually wake up with energy the next day and be more enjoyable to be around? Do you feel like you're the only one wide awake night after night and that you will never sleep again? Are you actually confused as to why you are no longer sleeping? If you can relate to any of these questions, type yes in the comments if you can relate to some of the points that I've made there. Yes, for sure. Okay, so it does resonate, which is good. Not that it's good, but you know what I mean? Like, at least I kind of, you know where I'm coming from there too. So yes, if you are nodding your head in agreement to any of those above points, I promise I'm not a stalker watching you. And I promise you, whatever it is that you're doing and it's not working, it's really not your fault. It's really hard to know what's right, who to trust. And if you feel anything like I did back then, I would have done just about anything to get a good night's sleep, except nothing seemed to work. Because the real problem is that taking sleep medication over the counter or prescription to fall asleep won't solve the problem of why you aren't sleeping. You aren't getting to the root cause. And when you continue to use sleep medication over and over again, it makes the problem worse. The medication actually causes sedation, not sleep, and you will not receive the restorative benefits of sleep. You will often feel groggy in the morning, then you may need caffeine to feel alert again, and then you will have difficulty falling asleep at night, and the vicious cycle continues. Your body may start to depend on using this, and eventually the medication can cause a type of dependency. And when you stop using this medication, your sleep may become worse as well. Type yes in the comments. Has anybody even tried some of those over-the-counter sleep medications or prescription sleep medications and experienced some of those symptoms that I just talked about? Like, I know it's frustrating. I get it. You're kind of following kind of mainstream advice, and it's actually not even working. Yes, yes. You won't take them? Okay. Yeah, okay. Interesting there. All right, so I'm just going to share something with you. I'll give you an example of my friend Kathy, and who experienced this firsthand. So my friend Kathy worked at a financial institution and had quite a bit of responsibility and pressure. She really prided herself on getting results, was a high achiever, and worked hard. She started to notice that she was making mistakes at work, mistakes that were costing her company money. She was also not sleeping well and really wondered if this was causing her lack of brain focus, brain fog that she was experiencing. At night, her mind was active, thinking about the next day's to-do list, ruminating about her errors as she tossed and turned, frustrated what felt like hours to fall asleep. She felt tired all of the time. She knew she needed a good night's sleep, so she went to her doctor, explained her situation, and was prescribed sleep medication. She took the medication because she was desperate to sleep, and she felt that she needed to be, quote, kind of sharp at work. She was actually secretly worried that she may lose her job. But though what she didn't expect was that she often had difficulty waking in the morning as she felt groggy, nauseous, and not like herself. She was getting to work later than normal and felt like she needed additional caffeine just to offset the sleep medication from the night before. This pattern repeated itself daily, and eventually she was in a difficult predicament. She felt like she needed the medication to fall asleep at night, but hated how she felt the next day. Also, she was having difficulty recalling important facts that were required for her job. Eventually, she knew she had to make a change and deal with why she was having such difficulty falling asleep. Her cortisol hormone was sky high, and she had little to no stress management tools to support her body. With time, patience, and being more aware of how her lifestyle affected her sleep, Kathy now knows how to handle her work stress. She now has self-care strategies that she implements daily, especially when she starts to feel overwhelmed and tired. Her cortisol hormone is now where it should be, high in the morning, low in the evening, and she is grateful to be sleeping easier with what she has learned. So I'm not sure if any of you have experienced something similar to what Kathy had to with sleeping medication. Did you feel groggy and kind of like not like yourself? Or did you, kind of toss and turn, kind of wondering why you're not sleeping? Has anybody had some of those similar feelings there? Yes, yes. Okay. Because what I'm about to share with you, I believe, is kind of one of the fastest and simplest ways to kind of, you will learn to wake up every day and have that energy to work out in the morning if that's what you desire. Because I know a lot of women say they'd like to do it, but they're just so darn flipping tired that they don't have the energy. You'll be able to make it through the day without taking an afternoon nap or feeling like you need to. You'll be able to feel good, rested, and actually get stuff done. You'll be able to stop snacking all day and actually stick to your eating plan and just kind of finally feel alive and feel like yourself, and have a little bit of that zest in your life too, and a little bit of that get up and go that a lot of women kind of want to feel too. Just gonna move this up here. So before we go any further, I probably should actually formally introduce myself for those of you that I haven't officially met. So hi, I'm Krista, and so I am the founder of My Midlife Mentor and the Sleep Better Tonight method. I am a certified sleep science coach and a registered nutritional therapist. I have a bachelor's degree in kinesiology, and I'm actually a retired dental hygienist where I worked in clinical practice for over 27 years. But now I support exclusively midlife women who want to achieve restful and restorative sleep without the use of prescription sleep medication. So I have a pretty diverse and well-rounded education. I do have years in personal experience in the health and wellness field. I too have felt the uncertainty that entering midlife can bring. I've completed 2 marathons. That was a while ago, and I probably will never ever do it again, but I did do that when I was in my 40s. And I have been featured on podcasts as a guest sleep expert. I too had a time when I couldn't fall asleep and stay asleep. And this allows me to understand and really sympathize with your sleep struggles. I continue to pursue higher education into midlife women's health. I strongly believe that sleep is the biggest game changer into the lives of midlife women. I want to really make this my mission and have a significant impact on the lives of women worldwide by restoring their precious sleep. I'm a midlife woman myself, and I share the same struggles that you do: caring for aging parents, raising young adult children, planning and saving for retirement, maintaining strong personal relationships while still prioritizing my own needs. Just gonna have a sip of my tea here. All right, so 4 years ago, that's when I was struggling with not sleeping. I was having difficulty falling asleep at night, and when I finally did fall asleep, I often woke up in the middle of the night. To make matters worse, my alarm was set at 5:20 each morning. I was exhausted before I even started my day. At that point, I was working at my dental hygiene job, where I saw patients back to back, and I started each morning at 8 a.m. At that point, we were in the middle of a house build, which meant we kind of lived in a different area than normal, and I was having to commute using public transportation, which was fine, but it just, as we all know, it's not as fast, right? And it wasn't as reliable. So I found that kind of stressful. So I had to get up really early because I had to be at work for my first patient at 8 a.m. So I gave myself plenty of time. I also was in charge of making all the house decisions, which meant I was running around looking at tiles and light fixtures after work was finished at the end of the day. Also, at that point, my husband was dealing with a very, very stressful work environment, and I was really worried about him. I didn't want to burden him with extra stress, so I kind of kept all the problems that arose from the build or renovation, as we all know, kind of to myself. My daughter at that point was 17, and she was an exchange student living in Japan for a year. So I also had that low-level worry of how she was making out. And I, as her mother, as you all mothers would know, I was usually the one she vented to, or when she was having stressful times or difficulties, moms kind of get the brunt of that. My son at that point was attending university outside of our province, but thankfully he was adjusting well. I was stressed, I was overwhelmed, I was anxious, and I was oh so tired. There were moments really when I just wanted to run away from life, even though I knew this was not an option or a solution, but I was just done. At the end of every workday, I would walk by a Whole Foods. There was a Whole Foods right by my office. And on the way to the commuter train, because I was taking a train kind of back to Toronto where I lived, where we were renting a place. My lack of sleep from the night before, the stress of dealing with patients all day long, and this nagging feeling that I'd had for a little while, that I needed to make a career change, made me kind of really want to eat everything, especially sweet or salty carbs. I would walk by this Whole Foods pretty much every day after work, telling myself that I was not going to do it today, and or rationalizing that it was, it was Whole Foods and maybe it was healthy. But deep down, I knew better. Like, I was a nutritionist at that point, after all, but I really couldn't help myself. So each day I would, grab the biggest bag of popcorn, eat all the free samples that they always had out there, and then make my way to the commuter train, where I basically inhaled the bag of popcorn while I commuted home. And of course, I always threw away the bag, the evidence, before I got home. Once I got home, I would have dinner, and I found myself just getting into bed early because I was exhausted. And I just found myself in bed with my phone, just trying to de-stress and kind of deal with the day. I did not feel like socializing at all. I just really wanted to be on my own. And I'm kind of a bit of an introvert as it is. So I really was just kind of keeping to myself a lot. And if I'm being totally honest, I couldn't understand why I couldn't sleep at night anymore, because I really didn't realize what was going on with my hormones. So this was me, night after night, day after day. I knew from my health and wellness training what was going on was not really great, and something had to change. But I was just so overwhelmed and so tired to know what to even do to begin. At that point, I was also approaching my 50th birthday, and I had moments where I thought, maybe this is just what it's like maybe this is what 50 is like. And although I really didn't want to believe that was what was going on. So there I was, exhausted, overwhelmed, and unsure about what to do. As I mentioned before, I wanted to run away and not think or care about anyone but myself. I was stressed, I was moody, I was carrying a lot of extra weight, I was antisocial, and my concentration at work was compromised, which actually really scared me, because I was looking at x-rays. I needed to be sharp at work to diagnose things, and that did really worry me. I remember the night when I thought I needed to figure this out. I was so tired and didn't know how I could face another day feeling like I did. I was complaining to my husband, and he asked if I wanted a sleeping pill, because he too was having sleep difficulties due to his work stress that I had mentioned. His doctor had given him some to help him sleep. For a brief moment, I considered it, because I just wanted to sleep. But deep down, I was also shocked at myself, because I had this health and wellness background, and I knew deep down that taking a sleeping pill was really not a solution to the problem. It was only a Band-Aid solution. And I will say this, I'm not judging anyone that takes them. Honestly, I'm not. But the thought that I considered taking one was my wake-up moment. I needed to get to the root cause of this. Deep down, I knew this was going to be difficult. I would have to face some uncomfortable truths, but I couldn't keep going on the way I was going. I was tired of being tired, and something really needed to change. I decided at that point, no more. I decided that I was going to figure out how to sleep in midlife. That getting to this time in my life did not mean I would never sleep again. And it didn't matter how long it took or what I had to do. I didn't want to accept that poor sleep was a given when we get to this time in our life. I made a decision that I was going to figure out how to fall asleep and stay asleep, so I wouldn't have to take any prescription sleep medication. So that's when I started the journey that got me to where I am today, here with you tonight, sharing my methodology with my clients so that you can skip over the trial and error and the struggle that I went through. I want you to have restorative sleep throughout the night so you can wake up with energy and really live the life you desire. I'm actually very grateful that I made that decision to invest in myself. Otherwise, I probably still would be trying, Googling random sleep tips that I saw online and really not getting anywhere. As that saying goes, when you know better, you do better. Okay, I'm just gonna have another sip of tea here. So now, even though I now am able to fall asleep easily and I sleep through the night, it took time to figure it out. It really did. I had to test out different strategies to see what worked for me and my body. And I struggled. It wasn't overnight. I really wanted to know what to do specifically, like do this, don't do that. I was already tired and overwhelmed, so spending more time and energy on another task was at times daunting. It did take a lot of time and patience, and there was no way I could have arrived at the Sleep Better Tonight method without actually having invested in my professional education and becoming trained in sleep science and nutrition. But I really was fully committed to figuring it out. I was not going to go back to my old ways, I told myself. So what I discovered, though, through all the trial and error, was that it wasn't that it was turning 50 and therefore I would no longer be able to sleep again, or that I didn't have enough willpower to say no to the popcorns and all the, carby foods that I was withdrawn to, or that I had to feel overwhelmed by putting everyone else's needs and wants before my own. I discovered that none of those things were normal or helpful. I figured out that I, in fact, had a hormonal imbalance. And once I really started to address the hormonal imbalance, everything started to change for me. And that's what I want to share with you, how I did all of that, so that you can skip over the trial and error too. Because really, there is a simpler way to get restful and restorative sleep. So just type yes in the comments if you would like a simpler way of doing things. Yes, 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 yes. Great. Okay. Who wouldn't, right? If life could be that, yeah, that would be nice. Great. Okay. So, so I'll give you just a case study of Heather. And kind of before we kind of dive into 3 secrets, I'll just share a short case study with you. It's important that you actually see examples of what success looks like so you can actually kind of ground yourself in knowing that it is possible for you too. So Heather was not sleeping. She had constant sugar cravings, low energy, and was putting on weight each year. She was frustrated, tired, and also experienced bouts of depression. She didn't even know what to address first because she had multiple symptoms, but lack of sleep was her biggest pain point. Her mother was also suffering from Alzheimer's, and she had heard on the news the connection between sleep deprivation and Alzheimer's, which undoubtedly concerned her, and she wanted to minimize her risk. She had tried NyQuil, drinking a glass of wine to calm down, and just watching TV just to help her kind of fall asleep and relax. For her, the big aha moment for Heather was realizing that her food choices and her hormones were causing her cravings for sweets, feeling tired after she ate, and why she was awake at night. Basically, her body was looking for another sugar fix. She didn't understand the power of her hormones. Once Heather's hormones were balanced and her blood sugar issues were addressed, she learned how to make proper food choices, and in turn, her sleep improved, her 2 a.m. wake up subsided, her energy skyrocketed, and a nice side effect also was a little bit of weight loss. So imagine now if you could sleep 7 hours straight, kind of have that energy to live your best life, feel like yourself again, eager to try the things that you want to do, and also have improved mood, fewer sugar cravings, and better brain functioning. Type in the comments, just me, if this is something that you would like to achieve. Absolutely. It's funny, Jen. You can imagine it. Yes, okay, that's good. So now I am going to get into the 3 core concepts, all right? So I will share them with you. So core concept number 1, sleep is a symptom, not a cause. All right, so I'm sure as women, well, I guess most people at some point too, have experienced symptoms in our body, that we notice and almost kind of most likely ignore because for the most part, they don't have a significant impact on our day-to-day lives. We kind of just tend to put up with them and just kind of keep moving along. Symptoms that, such as fatigue, anxiety, craving sugar, brain fog, and difficulty losing weight are common ones that I find a lot of midlife women experience. We hear our friends discuss similar symptoms, so we start to normalize it and actually think that all, midlife, middle-aged women must just experience these annoyances. We kind of just hope sometimes they will just go away. Well, I like to say that these little symptoms are our body speaking to us. These cues are trying to tell us something. Just because these symptoms are common does not mean they are normal. When we don't address or understand and or listen to what our body is trying to tell us, we slowly start to disconnect with our body until these symptoms become louder and louder. So difficulty falling and staying asleep is your body's way of getting your attention. Sleep and hormones are closely interconnected. Restful sleep balances hormones, and balanced hormones will allow you to sleep easily. The relationship to each other is profound. Our hormones are powerful messengers that signal when something is out of balance. When we don't listen to what our body is trying to tell us, i.e., our hormones are imbalanced, this will literally keep us up at night. When we enter midlife, our sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone, fluctuate and decline, making it more difficult to sleep and cope with stress. These hormones are indeed sleep promoting, which may be why sleep was easier when we were younger. Midlife is a time when we have added pressures and stress in our life. These challenges, in addition to declining hormones, make sleep more challenging. This is really, though, the time in our life when we need to take care of our physical, emotional, and mental health the most. Sorry, I should have had that slide up there before. I got distracted. Okay. There we go. All right, so if you wake up in the middle of the night, which I know is very common, a lot of women will tell me that. So for example, if you are someone that wakes up in the middle of the night, your hormone, insulin, may be telling you that you may be having blood sugar issues. Your body's on that blood sugar roller coaster, which continues into the night. Your body senses that there's danger because you haven't eaten recently, which then secretes cortisol, your stress hormone, which is designed to protect you. Cortisol is a stimulant and will wake you up in the middle of the night and may make getting back to sleep more difficult. If your diet is filled with a lot of processed carbohydrates and sugar, your blood sugar will indefinitely be impacted, and this will literally wake you up at night. Having stable blood sugar will allow your body to be able to sleep through the night. If you have difficulty falling asleep, when we have a difficult time falling asleep at night, our hormones are again speaking to us. If we are stressed all day long and not dealing with difficult situations and or people in our life, our brain and our body will not relax to allow our body to settle into sleep. If you think of it, bedtime is the first time of the day when we are quiet, we are alone, and not distracted. When we kind of bottle all our feelings and emotions all day long, we will be really forced to deal with, in air quotes, all that stuff that comes up by our body keeping us up at night. We need frequent stress management tools to be able to diffuse this stress. I will use myself as an example. When I couldn't sleep, I was doing everything to try to take care of everyone else's needs but my own. I was worried about my husband and his work stress. I was worried about my daughter in Japan, the house build, and that deep feeling that I should probably leave my job and go after my intuition of helping midlife women. I felt guilty about leaving a good paying job when my husband was clearly not happy with his. I worried about the money I would be giving up and if I could really make this idea of mine a reality. I had little time to myself, few stress diffusing tools, and I was reluctant to tell anyone that I was struggling as I didn't want them to worry about me. When I look back now, I can totally see why I couldn't sleep. My body and my mind were yelling at me, Krista, you need to make some changes. Does this resonate with any of you? What are you not dealing with? Most of us, I think, if we are totally honest and open, know the answer to this. It's just uncomfortable. And many midlife women are putting everyone ahead of themselves and can no longer sleep. Once I learned healthy stress management tools and advocated for myself, my stress levels decreased, my hormones became balanced, and I could actually fall asleep again. So poor sleep is a cue that something's off. I like to say it's an opportunity to kind of get to the root cause of what is going on. Hormones, again, and sleep are closely intertwined. We need sleep to balance our hormones, and we need balanced hormones to get good sleep. The two go hand in hand. Fortunately, we do have control over many of the hormones in our body by what we eat, how we move our body, how we think, and how we deal with our stress. If we don't deal with our hormones and our body is trying to tell us, our symptoms could become louder and louder, potentially leading to more serious consequences. Please, please, if you get anything out of this, listen to what your body is trying to tell you. So to recap, balanced hormones make falling asleep and staying asleep easier. We are designed to sleep and restore our bodies at night. Even though there may be times in life when sleep can become more problematic, like if, an acute stress or something like that, this should not be ongoing though. Our bodies need restorative sleep to perform at its best, and depriving our bodies of sleep really does have serious implications. Tea breaks, is that Carol? All right, so core concept number 2, I kind of already moved the slide down, but it's kind of your phone is the problem. It's a little bit tongue in cheek. So if we think about it, for millions of years, the human body has lived in harmony with its natural circadian rhythm, which is our body's internal 24-hour clock, which everyone has. It hasn't been until really very recently that our modern world has started to fall away from these kind of very basic principles, and now our sleep is suffering because of it. Yes, I think I recorded it, Lori, and hopefully it worked. And I can send you out a copy tomorrow if that's fine with you. Assuming I've recorded it properly, I can send you a copy. So I know you can go. Hopefully your parents are okay. All right. Okay. Great. Okay. I hope everything's fine. All right, so where was it? So yes, so we need natural light in the day and darkness at night to keep our circadian rhythm intact. Cortisol is impacted by natural light and gives us energy, which is beneficial, especially for midlife women who I hear often complain of low energy. Cortisol, again, which is a stimulant, gives it that get up and go feeling, which is what you want it to do. That's why our cortisol should be high in the morning, all right? We want our cortisol levels to be high in the morning and low in the evening to allow our body to sleep. Today, our society receives very little natural light during the day. We pretty much are a light-deprived society. We need light to signal to our brain that is indeed daytime, and let's get stuff done. This is how nature intended us to live. Today, most work offices use that artificial light, and most individuals do not spend time outside like our ancestors did, gathering and preparing food. Many of us are light deficient, which adversely affects our circadian rhythm and ultimately our sleep. I recommend getting morning light as soon as you wake up. Open your blinds, let the sun and the light into your home. If you can get outside for a morning walk, this is a wonderful thing to do, and this will help to reset your circadian rhythm. I recommend 30 minutes without wearing a hat or your sunglasses. We really want the retina in our eyes to signal to our brains that it is indeed daytime. I know you can't always get out for a walk, especially if you're working, but if you can just aim to sit outside and maybe, I can't sit outside and have my morning coffee now because it's too cold, but you know what I mean? Like if you can, with the weather is conducive to that, do that. Or just, sit by a window and have your coffee or tea, whatever you like in the morning. If you're at work, can you get outside even for a little while on a break? Just find ways to be proactive and get more daytime light into your life. This will help your sleep, I promise. It really does make a big difference. So getting more daytime light is key. to resetting your circadian rhythm. So now I'm just going to talk about the other part of our circadian rhythm, and that is the evening. So on the other side of circadian rhythm is our evenings. Due to the invention of the light bulb, our ability to stay up past sunset has increased. Many people are now on electronic devices in the evening because of work responsibilities, seeking entertainment, or just finding a way to disconnect from the stresses of their life. If you kind of think of the term midnight, this means middle of the night. Today, many people are checking emails, watching Netflix shows close to midnight, not halfway through our sleep cycle. And yet we wonder why we are a sleep-deprived society. Light in the evening will slow or stop the production of our sleep hormone melatonin, which kind of gives you that sleepy feeling. So low melatonin will make falling asleep and staying asleep more difficult. Our natural production of melatonin does decrease as we age, so we need to be even more protective and more proactive about keeping our melatonin levels intact by sleeping in a cool, dark environment. I like to think of it as like a cave, and getting off electronic devices before bed. I recommend at least an hour. When you kind of get back to how nature intended us to live, we can start to shift our sleep. It's not your fault that modern life has evolved to make us have such difficulty with our sleep. Most of us don't even kind of make that connection between looking at our phone in the evening and wondering why we can't fall asleep. Because this is even more important for midlife women with naturally decreasing melatonin levels, we really, really need to safeguard its production in the evenings. One other benefit of maintaining healthy levels of melatonin is also that it's an antioxidant and it's protective against breast cancer. So really make melatonin your friend and allow it to be produced each and every night. Having difficulty falling and staying asleep because of our phone or computer, tablet, whatever it is, if you think about it, it's kind of a rather new phenomenon, as I don't even know if this was an option a decade ago. But now you know. Once we understand and adapt to our body's internal clock, sleep will come easier and it will be more restorative and peaceful. And our bodies really are quite amazing. They know how to protect us and heal us when they're given the right circumstances. Really, we just kind of need to get out of our own way. So I'll just give you another example of a client to illustrate kind of how important it is to get off your phone in the evening. So Jen struggled with falling asleep every night. It often took her 2 hours of tossing and turning to finally fall asleep. And not surprisingly, she didn't wake up feeling refreshed. She was sure she had insomnia. Once Jen understood how to work with and not against her circadian rhythm, which is our body's internal 24-hour clock, the light bulb moment went off. Her circadian rhythm was off because she was on her phone all evening, and this in turn delayed the release of melatonin, her sleep hormone. When melatonin is delayed, sleep is delayed. Once she understood and addressed how important it was to sync to this natural rhythm, her kind of quote insomnia just went away. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna have another sip of tea here. Everyone's good? We're good for time? I assume yes. All right, so thank you, Talia, thank you. Okay, so last core concept is number 3. And that's kind of like what happens if we live our normal life. So I would say our day-to-day lifestyle nowadays can unwittingly cause sleep challenges. Oftentimes we don't even really see a direct correlation until we kind of connect the dots to see why sleep may be impaired. I will discuss a few of the more common things that I see that many women do on a daily basis and show you how they are affecting your sleep. Again, when we know better, we can do better. And this will hopefully allow you to connect some of the dots. So there are numerous lifestyle factors that affect our sleep. Blood sugar levels, stress levels, and how we move our body will directly impact our sleep. Meal timing and also drinking caffeine, alcohol will also affect our sleep. Midlife women also have a lot of stressors in their life. Divorce, illness, taking care of sick or elderly parents, having adult kids live at home, and work responsibilities all take a toll on many women. Women need healthy self-care strategies such as taking time for oneself, setting boundaries, participating in joyful activities, and asking for help when it is needed. Also, shifting our morning evening routine to a more calm and peaceful time will also affect our sleep. Many lifestyle choices that enhance sleep are free, and with greater awareness in how to implement them, we can slowly shift our sleep to a healthier levels. Most women do not understand that what they're kind of doing sometimes on a daily basis may be negatively impacting their sleep. So, movement and exercise are key components to getting healthy sleep. Getting daily movement and regular exercise makes sleep come easier. Our bodies were designed to move daily. This does not mean running marathons or killing yourself in a gym. It means just daily movement. Walking, especially outside, like I mentioned before, helps to reduce our stress levels, provides vitamin D, which is great, resets our circadian rhythm, helps to manage our blood sugar levels, and also provides energy. And it's free and it's available to everyone. Our grandmother's generation moved their bodies far more often than today's society does. And they were certainly not going to gyms or spin classes. If you have exercise that you are currently enjoying, please continue doing this. Watch your intensity and your frequency so that you get the correct dose by not overdoing it, because this in itself can be a hindrance as well too to your sleep. But whatever you enjoy doing, you will most likely continue. If you right now are a non-exerciser, just start slow, but be consistent. People that move their bodies regularly have better sleep. Be aware of not exercising too close to bedtime, as this again will increase your cortisol and adrenaline, which is stimulating and will keep you awake. If sleep is challenging, I usually recommend getting your exercise earlier in the day. All right, so having a stressful life and reacting to some of these stresses, whether they're real or they're perceived in your head, has a tremendous impact on our sleep. Finding stress reducing techniques is imperative because there are so many stresses that midlife women face. There is no doubt that stress plays a huge role in many of our society and how we live. We need to find ways to reduce stress or have good techniques to combat some of this. For example, setting boundaries with your time and commitments so that you are not giving to everyone but yourself. Practicing regular self-care daily. And I don't mean like manis or petties or anything like that. It's a much broader practice than that, which I can explain later. But asking for help when it's needed will help you to reduce your stress. If we don't reduce our stress, cortisol will be on all the time. And this hormone was not designed to be on 24/7. If you remember from early in the class, we want cortisol high in the morning, low in the evening to allow sleep to come naturally. I cannot understate how critical it is to be aware of your stress, learn stress management tools, and reduce whatever stress you can by eliminating it. This directly impacts our sleep, and we do have control over how we react to it. Drinking caffeine afternoon will also make sleep more difficult. I don't know about you, but I noticed a big difference a few years ago. As we get older, caffeine takes longer to metabolize in our body, meaning that 2 p.m. coffee in the afternoon will still be well into our system at 10, 11 p.m. This can make falling asleep difficult. I suggest no caffeine after 12 p.m. and to make sleep easier. Also, that evening glass of wine may be waking you up at night. When we drink alcohol in the evening, our sleep will be more fragmented and will cause nighttime wakings. Drinking alcohol will also make you feel like you're falling asleep easier, but your sleep will not be near as restorative and restful as if you didn't drink. I don't know if you've had experience with that, but I can certainly attest to that too. It's a big eye-opener now too. All right, and meal timing can also affect your sleep. If you eat later in the evening, your body will prioritize digesting your food and sleep may become more difficult. You certainly don't want to be starving when you go to bed, but you need time for your body to digest its food first before going to sleep. As you can see, what we do during the day impacts our sleep at night. By having the awareness and the understanding about how everything is connected, you may decide to shift some of your habits to allow for more peaceful sleep. Also, many of these lifestyle tips are free and available to all of us. To illustrate again how even some small changes we do daily impact our sleep, I will use Lisa as an example. Lisa was someone who recently just started having sleep difficulties, and she wanted to be really proactive and figure out why. Not much in her life had changed. Her stress was fairly normal. She exercised and she was pretty good with self care, but she wasn't sleeping well. And once she kind of learned about how meal timing and sleep, she quickly uncovered what was different now. Her husband had started a new job and had longer hours and a much longer commute time, which meant he got home much later in the evening than he previously had. Lisa wanted to wait until he got home so they could have dinner together. Even though her meals were fairly healthy, she was eating much later in the evening than she had before, and this was now affecting her sleep. Her body was prioritizing digesting her food, which is its most important function, and thus her sleep was not coming as easily. Lisa learned that even small shifts like this can make a big impact on your sleep. And once we kind of figured that out, it was, a fairly easy thing to understand once she understood what she needed to do. Okay, so we have got through the three concepts. So just going to do a little review here. So review of the core concepts I just went over. Here's what you learned in all of them here. So number one, so again, so sleep is not a symptom, not a cause. And you discovered that when we have difficulty falling, staying asleep, this is really just a sign from our body that it's telling us that our hormones most likely are imbalanced. And this is an opportunity to listen to what our body is trying to tell us. Core concept number two, your phone may be the problem. Your phone is a problem, and when we live within our natural circadian rhythm, sleep will come much easier. We need light in the daytime, and we need darkness in the evening. When we start to live outside how nature intended us to live, sleep may become more problematic. And finally, number three, probably can't change life, so what do we do? Well, just being aware that some of those daily decisions can unwittingly be causing some of our sleep challenges. Once you're aware of how these decisions may be affecting our sleep, we have the opportunity to make an informed choice to continue. All right, so all you ladies showed up tonight because you want to be able to fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling refreshed and energized without having to take any sleep medication. You want to have a simple way to, get 7 hours of sleep without trying kind of random sleep techniques, hoping that they may work. You want to stop feeling exhausted, moody, and overwhelmed. And you just want energy during the day so you can kind of work out, feel productive, feel happy during the day, stay on track with your food plan, and maybe kind of begin working on some of those dreams and goals that you have now that you are kind of for that second half of your life as well too. All right, so at the beginning of this training, I did make you a promise. I promised that by the end of the class tonight, I was going to show you how you can make the shift from feeling like you will never sleep again to knowing the key components to falling and staying asleep. So you can kind of wake up energized and excited to start a new day, allowing you to live your midlife years in a healthy and productive way. Now, here's the thing. I want you to remember everything I've shared with you today isn't some random theory or some idea that I think might work for you. Everything I've walked you through today works. It worked for me, and it's worked for my clients, who all pretty much started from a similar point you are in right now. I'm not special, and they aren't special either. We all have busy lives, job responsibilities, families to take care of, parents that need our support. And if they can do it, I'm so confident that you can do it too. So, would you like me to help you get restful and restorative sleep so you can actually kind of get your energy back? Type yes in the comments if you would like me to help you get your sleep back on track. Yes, yes, yes. Great. Okay. Okay. So flip the slide here. So now you have a choice. You can continue to do what you've been doing by Googling, why can't I sleep? Hoping that this will work, even though it never has before. Or you can choose the simpler path and use the Sleep Better Tonight method that comes down with that proven system and accountability so you can get to your goal. Really, the choice is yours. Now, throughout the class, you may have heard me mention the Sleep Better Tonight method. This is how I can help you achieve your goal of restful sleep at night so you can really have more energy during the day. Would it be okay if I took a few minutes just to share how I can best help you? Type yes in the comments if that's okay with you, and then I can kind of give you the right information so you can actually achieve that restful sleep without the struggle. So if that's okay, just kind of type yes in the comments there, and then I'll make sure I answer all your questions as well too. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right, I'm just going to change the slide here. Okay, great. So I'm honored. So I'll tell you this. So I can help you personally and personally support you. So what I've done, I've kind of blocked off my calendar schedule for early next week as well too. So I can speak to you personally about how I can support you kind of and apply what we talked about today so that you can really kind of get that much needed sleep, restful sleep. And I really do that with a call called the Sleep Better Breakthrough Call. And the best part is that in that 45-minute call, the Sleep Better Breakthrough Call, you will get confidence, you'll get some clarity, and you'll kind of understand kind of how the system can work for you as well too. As far as I know, like I don't think there's a whole lot of other women doing what I'm doing. I know there's a lot of like sleep coaches for babies, but again, I really just work with kind of women our age, and because I understand kind of some of the nuances that happen with that as well too. And I know that most of you want to kind of have a bit more natural approach, and certainly do not want to take sleep medication going forward. And you know, I've kind of transferred my life and my client's life, so that's what I want to help you with. So I am going to, hopefully this works here. There. So that's just a link. So that's a link if you would like to schedule a call with me next week. And I've opened up my calendar for you if you'd like to do that. So yeah, so that's what I do there. Let me just kind of go to the next slide here. So the Sleep Better Breakthrough Call with me, I'll kind of go over a couple of specifics. So on the call, I'm really going to help you get clarity about some of the challenges that you're having with your sleep, like what's working, what isn't working, so we can kind of really figure out how you can get a good night's sleep. We will talk about your specific goal and why you want that goal, any obstacles or challenges that you know might potentially derail you, or blocks that you feel like that might be happening as well, and if there's any self-sabotage that might be happening as well too. So really kind of by the end of the call we have some clarity, and you really have a big picture about what decision you want to kind of make going forward, and you kind of at least feel confident in whether you decide to work with me or not. You kind of at least know going forward what to do. All right, so you'll have some helpful strategies that will hopefully move you forward. Does that sound good? So just type yes in the comments if you think that maybe having a casual call with me might be helpful for you. Yes, yes. Okay, so here's the important thing to know too. This it's 100% free. You might be thinking, okay, there's got to be a catch. There's always a catch. You just told me all these ways you're going to help me, so why is this call free? Well, the call is free because really, like I said before, it's kind of my mission now in life. Literally, my life's work is to support midlife women really get that restful sleep in a way that doesn't involve taking sleep meds. I have a really core value in my business where I offer value first, you know, by even what I've done in the Facebook group and in doing this here for you tonight, just to kind of give you the information, and that I'll do as well with the call. I know that I can help you overcome some of those barriers that may have been stopping you from achieving restful sleep in a pretty super short period of time. Second, I know that there are many of you listening that really want that more personalized support and accountability. And if you're someone who knows that in order for you to succeed, which most people are, you need that, then great. Then we can, certainly talk about next steps on the call to determine if you are a right fit for the Sleep Better Tonight program as well too. And if not, it's completely okay. We'll leave the call, but you'll at least leave the call with value, clarity, confidence, and of course we'll part it's all good. So the only catch though is if you're looking for a quick fix or a magic pill or a supplement, so to speak, a way to sleep better where you really don't care if it supports the health of your hormones, your mind, and your body, then I would say this call is really not for you. All right, I want to be clear about that. So the call is not for you, kind of like what I mentioned before. If you're looking for a quick fix, really not interested in your health or your well-being, you really need to take responsibility too for your success. You need to kind of show up and be motivated. If you're not someone who's patient with yourself and not someone who's committed to getting restful sleep, and you're not open-minded because maybe some of this might be looking at things in a slightly new way as well too. All right. So I would say this call is for you if you're ready to stop doing all the things that don't work or the things you think you should do and focus on the proven system that actually does work. Kind of know that the road to success, it's not always straight. It's sometimes windy, but if you're committed, if you're someone who's coachable and actually asks for support and accountability, and if you're tired of trying things that don't actually work and are done getting short-term results. Look, I know the system works. I've shown you examples throughout this training of some of my clients who've had success, and there's a reason why they've improved their sleep and have more energy. They were committed to their goals. I want success so bad for my clients, I do, and for you, but I can't be the only one kind of put in the effort too. I 100% believe and know that when you commit to goals using the system, you will achieve success. So that's the first step, is just really scheduling that call. And, that's kind of the first step right there. All right. So if this is you, if you're someone who wants that support and accountability so that you can kind of sidestep all those obstacles that are usually holding people back, then, make sure you send that call. It's just me. I don't have a call center doing this. So it's just you and I getting on the phone together, and I'll do my absolute best to be able to support you. So even if you've tried NyQuil, sleepy teas, and it hasn't worked out yet, or even if you don't have the time, energy, at support at home, this will work for you as well. It really works because it's really based on achieving hormonal balance and really includes that support and accountability that I find a lot of traditional methods just don't work as well too. I think we can all agree there's nuances that only kind of, a sleep expert with kind of this age group demographics can help you with, because there's many factors involved that a lot of the traditional programs don't cover, and like your mindset, your environment, your social setting, and we kind of all, don't exist in a vacuum that way as well too. All right. So, and again, I've been there before too, and I probably am sharing some of the same struggles that many of you are as well too. I just see a question here. Let me just go up here. How much? Oh, I don't want to talk about that right now, to be perfectly honest. And the reason being is I want to make sure someone's the right fit for the program. And because it's kind of nuanced, because like I said, I don't work with everyone. I kind of like to have the phone call to make sure we're a good fit and that you would be a good fit for the program. Plus, I think it would be irresponsible of me to do that, but that's why. So where are we right now? So I'm going to close this here. All right, so Q&As, I will do those as well too. So I will be sending you, if you are interested in that 2 a.m. I'm wide awake, what do I do now guide, which I find most people would like to have, if hopefully it doesn't happen, but it's good to have another resource, so you will kind of have some strategy and action plans if that were to happen as well too. All right. So Q&As. I've got a couple questions that I get a lot, but you can put them in a chat there again if I haven't covered it. So some of this I've covered already. How long is the call? I usually book about 45 minutes. So if you want to do schedule a call, book yourself at least 45 minutes to an hour. And then we have time because I don't want it to be rushed. I don't want there to be a lot of, outside factors going on. Just so give yourself the 45 minutes to kind of just, take care of yourself and to be able to talk. So I find that's a good amount of time. All right. What's the catch? I don't really think there is a catch. It's really here to kind of really help you get clarity about your sleep problem and to come up with a solution. So you kind of know when we leave the call, your next steps, whatever that may be, just so you're not stuck. I don't want you to stay stuck for another 6 months, year, whatever it may be as well too. All right. That's the goal. Do you call me or I call you? I call you. You just give me a phone number where I can reach you at, and we just do a phone call. We don't have to see each other. It's just a regular, old-fashioned pick up the phone kind of call, and we just kind of get to know each other a little bit, and we discuss kind of some of your issues, and that's really all it is for you. I've tried everything to fall asleep. Will this actually really help? Again, I need to speak to you, and I like to know your history and where you're at and some of your struggles, but I can say yes, 100% it does work if you're willing to show up, do the work, and kind of be committed to this as well too. Again, it's not a quick fix. I'm not going to say your sleep's going to be magically solved in a couple of weeks because that would be irresponsible, and that's not how it works. You don't just kind of get to the point of having sleep issues and balance your hormones in a couple of weeks. So, but actually it does make a big difference. And I've worked with women and I've seen it on a day-to-day basis. So if you feel like you've tried everything, I've heard that line before many times, maybe give me a call and we'll schedule a call and we can talk about that as well too. Can you help me if I'm in perimenopause or menopause? Absolutely. Like all the women I work with are exactly in that age. And that's really the women that I want to work with. Many are in perimenopause, many are in menopause. It does not make a difference. So it's really that demographic who I want to support. All right. And I think that's it for the questions. Unless you have something that you want to put in the chat, if there's anything that I have not answered, feel free. If not, that's okay too. So thank you again. We did it, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight, for spending that hour with me. As I've said before, my mission, my purpose right now is to kind of, not experience what I went through and really kind of give you a simpler way to achieve restful sleep at night and more energy during the day. So just so you can kind of move forward, know the step-by-steps of kind of how to kind of get that goal that you want to achieve. If you've booked a call, great. I actually can't wait to talk to you. And the call is really about me being of service to you. And if we both agree that you'd be the right fit, then we can discuss what that looks like. Either way, I think you'll get a lot out of our time together. And I look forward to talking to you. So thanks again, everyone. Thank you for showing up. And hopefully we'll talk soon. So yeah, I guess I was pretty good on time, 8:06. We did well, and hopefully you can now shut down, put your phone away, and hopefully kind of start your bedtime. Hopefully you get an okay sleep tonight, but hopefully some of the tips I've talked about tonight might be helpful. So let me just make sure there's no other questions here. Oh, you're very welcome, Laura. Oh, I see some questions up here. I was wondering about reading before bed. I love to read books at bedtime. That's fine. Books are good. I would recommend books that aren't on a Kindle. I would go back to that old-fashioned reading books, but I think they are good. I missed the first part of the present. What are your credentials? I'm not sure who directed that, but so I'm a certified sleep science coach. I'm a registered nutritional therapist, and my background before that was I do have a degree in kinesiology, so I have kind of a fitness exercise background, and I was a dental hygienist for 27 years. So I've been really in the health and wellness field for at least, over 30 years now. So I've been in this for a while, but now I'm just specializing with this because I wish there was someone like me when I was going through this, and I saw a huge gap and a huge, I looked around and I didn't see anyone else doing this, and I saw a lot of women struggling. And so again, I wanted to help them. So that's my background. So yeah, reading books before bed. You're welcome, Lynn. You're welcome, Laura. You're welcome, Mabel. Thank you all. Thank you, Jen. Nice to see you all virtually anyway. And I hope it was helpful. I really do. I hope you can kind of take some of those, some of those strategies, and just gives you some perspective as well too. And sometimes it's good just hearing a different way. Sometimes the material you might have heard before, but sometimes, at the right time, it makes sense. I hope you have a good night's sleep, Laura. Yes. And I know it's later for you because I know you're in Newfoundland. So yeah, you should go to bed soon. So anyway, thank you all for attending. I appreciate it. I'm glad you did this for yourself, and maybe we'll talk soon. But I wish you all a good night, and we'll connect hopefully soon. So I'm going to shut this down so I can get ready for bed too, because it's coming up for me too. So that's why I do this at 7 and not at 8 o'clock, because I want to give myself that time to transition to a good night's sleep. So again, good night, everyone, and we'll talk soon. So I'm going to shut this down, hopefully, and hopefully I did record this properly. All right, good night, everyone.